So we are going to learn how to add, edit and delete by using PHP. First thing, we are going to create a folder in our XAMPP server, which I name web. Then import this web folder into Atom. Now create a file and I name this file index.php. Now I am going to open this index.php in my browser. Okay, now currently this file is empty. So what we do, we are going to copy the form code to W3 school. You can just simple copy and paste the form code, so you don't need to create your own form or to code for HTML form. So this is the form code. I simply grab this code and paste it to my index.php file. Now if I go to my application page, we can see we have first name and last name. We have two fields like first name and last name. And now we are going to create a button, and as I told you before that we are going to set the button type to submit every time, and again name submit, and then value submit, and we name this button insert. Now as I told you before that in form we have three action. We have action, method and encryption type. Action send the data to the file, so I create new file for you which I name insert.php. This insert.php send our data into our database. Now we have two fields, which is first name and last name. We have first name field, we have last name field, and we have button insert. Currently this is not working because we have to code first. So what I do, I simple name this. They have first name, they have name, L name mean last name, right? So I create spaces so you can understand better. So now action, we have insert.php because I want to send data to insert.php. Insert.php, I want to send this first name and last name to insert.php. Then we have method. As I told you before, we set it to post, and then encryption type we set it to multi-part form data. So in Atom you just simple write multi, it automatically suggests you the line, so when you click on it, it fulfill the encryption type. Okay, so now we have input type text and name fname. As I told you before that name PHP this name send the data to your variable in PHP. So what we do now, we are going to save this and now go to insert.php. First we are creating the opening tag for PHP, and in the bottom This is the closing tag for PHP. Now I'm going to create condition if this is simple condition. So every time you want to send data to your database, you are going to follow this syntax. Then in this, if these brackets, you are going to use isSet function, if isSet, and then we are going to use the method which is post method. Now in this post method, we know that we name the button submit. It means when someone click on submit button, send our data to insert.php. So we'll simple write submit, and this submit comes from there, this name, but this button name submit, right? Okay, so now we have two fields. We have first name, we have last name, and we have two data fields, right? So I'm going to create two variables. As I told you before, we create variable with the help of this $sign. And now in this $sign, I name first name. This is my first name variable, and this is my last name variable. Okay, so because we are using post method, so again we are going to copy this and paste it here. Then post. Okay, so again we are going to copy this, we paste it here. So now in this variable we are going to use this post method, and in this post method what I need this input type field. I check my input type field. So my first name, I name it f name, so I put this f name here, so my program know where to get the data. And then the L name, which is last name, so my program know where to get the last name data. Look at this. So now we have two fields having first name and last name, right? Now the third thing, I'm going to create the connection variable. So I create this connection variable is equal to, I'm going to use PHP function mysqli connect. So we have localhost, we have username, we have password, and we have database name. Here we have localhost, which is every time on online server we have localhost, and then we have username, then password, and then database name, right? Localhost, username, password, then database, right? So now we are going to create we need one more variable to send data to database. So we have query, which we can fill these fields later. So we have query, and then now I want to execute whatever query I have. I have to create the variable which is run variable to run my program and send this data to my database. So I name connection goes to this arrow sign indicate goes to this query function. This is built-in PHP function, and inside this function we put our query variable. So connection goes to query and then query variable, right? So now this is the very basic program to send the data to database, right? This is very basic program. Just make sure everything you write properly. So now we are going to our database by writing localhost / php myadmin / so this redirect us to the database. So we are going to create very simple database where we have two fields, first name, last name, right? So I'm going to show you. Okay, so this is our database. When you open this by writing localhost / php myadmin / then here you click on new, it shows something like this. It wants you to name your database. So I name my database Joseph. I name my database Joseph, and in Joseph I have to create one table, right? Very basic table, and I have two fields, first name, last name. According to my application you can create fields according to you want. I have table, I write it names, right? And column, I need first name, number 1 column, second name, last name. But the one more thing every time you have to edit is ID. So I need 3 columns, number 1 for ID, number 2 for first name, number 3 for last name. So I set it to column 3, then go. So it show me something like this. So I name first name ID, second field first name, third field last name. So you can see I have first name, I have last name. Here I have first name, I have last name. I can create according to I want. ID is in integer value. We set it to auto. First name we have variable character. I set it to 250. You can set it to length according to you want, according to your need. So I set it to 250 for last name. Then if we scroll right, and then here is the most important thing, we set the first name to auto increment, like ID is automatically adding 1 2 3 4 5. We don't need to add the ID. Then null index mean if sometime our program crash, so it's better practice to set it to null because it prevents you to get the error. So we set other two field to null and then save. You can see we have Joseph database. Here we have table names, and currently this name is empty. We have ID, we have first name, we have last name, but it's empty. So in our program we are getting the first name, we are getting the last name, and here we are going to create the connection. So first connect our database, which is localhost, and by default username is root every time. And the third thing is the database name. So what is your database name? Your database name is Joseph, and you are going to put your database here, Joseph. And now query, you don't need to learn the queries because you are getting the query here. Click on SQL and then click on this insert if you want to insert the data into your database, and copy these lines. Simple. Okay, I'm going to copy these, and then I'm going to put this here, insert into names, which is our table name. I'm going to remove this ID because ID is auto incremented, and I have this field in my database name. Make sure this is according to your database, right? So here I have two fields, first name, last name, and inside these inverted commas I'm going to place my variable which is first name, and here I'm going to place this my last name. So now this program going to send user send data. We save user data into these variables, then create query and send these values to our database, right? Okay, so they have first name, they have last name, and yes, then we have last. Okay, so now if we are going to save, click on insert.php, it shows nothing. But if we move back, look at this, we have John, we have Doe. But if I come back and add Joseph and the last name Bro, so insert, then if we refresh our database, you can see we are getting Joseph and the last name Bro. So this is how you can send data. If I create one more field, first name, last name and age, by simple telling you, I just simple copy this last name and paste it here, and name it to, and we name it to okay, we are going to remove this because we want it here, right? So here I want age. This I am going to create this new field, right? And in this age I am going to rename this, name this to age. Okay, so now here I am going to create one more variable. First I'm going to show you that, look at this. So we have first name, we have last name, we have age, we have third field age, and now I'm going to add age, which is the same variable. We are going to copy this and we are going to paste here, and now I place my age to age, and this age comes from this name here. So now I'm going to again go to my table, go to this structure to alter this table, and add one more column and name it age, which is null index define, type variable character, length 255, and save it. If I browse, I have one more field which is age, and now in this age I'm going to place age, right? And here I create one more which is age variable. Now if I save it and refresh our page and age 21, then click on insert, and if I refresh, so you can see we have John Doe and 21. If I set it to John Bro insert, so look at this, it said, if I refresh this, John Bro, John Doe, John Bro, Joseph, John Doe, look at this. So this is how you can insert the data into database. So every time you have to follow the same code, and if you if you want to go back to your page, you just simple add echo, then script tags, then again window dot open, index dot php, self, right, this code. So now if we continue, we automatically redirect to this page. So we set it to new 16. You can see currently we don't have new 16 here. So if I refresh and continue, we automatically redirect to this page. Once it sends data to our database, so then insert, so it redirects us to this page, and every time it automatically id is auto incrementing, data is coming from this form to database. So this is how you can send the data to your database by using PHP. This same method apply on cPanel, this same method apply on localhost,